Emma Harper's heart raced as she stood in the lobby of Cole Enterprises, clutching her leather-bound notebook like a lifeline. Fresh out of college, she never thought her first job would be as the assistant to Adrian Cole, the billionaire CEO whose name was synonymous with success and power. The man himself was a topic of gossip. Tall, muscular, and devastatingly handsome, with piercing blue eyes and an air of command that could silence a room. He was also known for his no-nonsense attitude, which only heightened Emma's nerves. She was led into his sprawling penthouse office, where Adrian sat behind a sleek mahogany desk. His sharp features, perfectly tailored suit, and unwavering gaze made Emma feel both intimidated and utterly captivated. "You're late," he remarked curtly, his voice as smooth as it was stern. Emma stammered an apology, her cheeks flushing. From the start, their relationship was anything but smooth. Emma's clumsiness seemed to bring out Adrian's worst. She misplaced files, spilled coffee on his desk, and once even tripped over her own heels during a meeting. Adrian's sharp reprimands cut through her like a knife, leaving her mortified but determined to improve. "This is unacceptable," he snapped one afternoon when she handed him the wrong report. "If you can't handle basic tasks, you're wasting both our time." Emma bit her lip, fighting back tears. Despite his harsh words, she saw something else in his eyes. A flicker of frustration that went beyond her mistakes, as though he didn't quite understand why he was so affected by her presence. Over time, Emma's persistence began to pay off. She worked late into the evenings, organizing Adrian's chaotic schedule and perfecting her tasks. Adrian started to notice her dedication. The clumsy girl who had spilled coffee on his desk was also the one who stayed after hours to ensure a flawless presentation. He began to admire her resilience, though he kept his compliments to himself, masking his growing feelings with a veneer of professionalism. Emma, too, found her perception of Adrian changing. Beneath his stern exterior, she saw glimpses of a man who cared deeply about his company and his employees. When she caught him smiling at a charity event or patiently mentoring a junior executive, her heart fluttered in a way she couldn't ignore. One afternoon, as Emma was briefing Adrian on a project, another manager barged into the office. Frustrated by a minor oversight, he began berating Emma in front of Adrian. Her cheeks turned crimson, and she lowered her gaze, but before she could respond, Adrian stood. His presence was commanding as he fixed the manager with a cold glare. "That's enough," Adrian said, his tone icy. "If you have an issue with my assistant, you bring it to me. Dismissed." The manager left, muttering apologies, and Adrian also left thinking, why did he just do that? Emily's heart was pounding, thinking what just happened? Did Adrian really take a stand for her? In that moment, she saw something in Adrian she hadn't before: protectiveness. The tension between them became undeniable, though neither dared to address it. Their stolen glances lingered a second too long. Their accidental touches sent sparks flying. Adrian found himself caring less about her minor mistakes and more about the way her presence brightened his day. Then came the night that changed everything. Emily, eager to unwind after a grueling week, joined her friends at a trendy downtown club. She wore a sleek black dress that accentuated her petite frame, her long brown hair cascading down her back. She felt confident and free as she danced, unaware that Adrian was there too, out with a friend. Adrian spotted her almost immediately. He couldn't tear his eyes away as she moved on the dance floor, her laughter carrying above the pulsing music. But his admiration quickly turned to anger when he saw a stranger approach her, his intentions clear. The man leaned in too close, placing a hand on her waist as Emily tried to politely step away. Before Emily could fully process what was happening, Adrian was there. He grabbed the man's shoulder, his voice low and menacing. "Back off." The stranger smirked, clearly not recognizing Adrian. "Who are you, her boyfriend?" "As a matter of fact, I am," Adrian replied before throwing a punch. The man staggered backward and chaos erupted. Emily rushed forward, placing herself between Adrian and the man as bouncers intervened. "Adrian, stop!" she cried, grabbing his arm. He turned to her, his chest heaving, and she saw raw emotion in his eyes. Without thinking, he pulled her close, his hands framing her face. "Emily," he said, his voice rough with emotion. "I can't stand seeing you with anyone else. You drive me crazy, but you're all I think about. I've fallen in love with you, and I can't hide it anymore. You're mine. You belong to me." Emily's breath caught as his words sank in. Her heart raced as she searched his face, finding nothing but sincerity. She realized she felt the same. She had for weeks. "Adrian," she whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. I love you too." A slow smile spread across his face, and he leaned down, capturing her lips in a kiss that left no doubt about his feelings. The club, the crowd, the chaos around them faded away, leaving only the two of them in their own world. From that night on, their relationship transformed. Adrian was no longer just her boss. He was the man who had stolen her heart. And Emily was no longer just his assistant. She was the woman who had shown him what it meant to truly love.